each one of these organs have their own nature. So the spleen, for example, has a hot nature, as we talked about before. The lungs have a warm nature. The liver has a cool nature. And the kidney has a cold nature. So as we talked about before, foods also have hot, warm, cool, or cold natures. And so each food that we eat is going to go to one of these four major organ systems. Ideally, for example, if we are a Yang type A with a weaker kidney, we would want to have more cold-natured foods, because it's the cold nature of the food that is going to bring it to the kidney and support its function. For the Yang type B, who has a weaker liver, we would want cool-natured foods. Okay, so we talked about a cold-natured food before would be, for the Yang type B, weaker kidneys, cold-natured food would be calcium. For the Yang type B, who has a weaker liver with a cool nature, the Yang type B would benefit from kiwi, which has a cool nature. The Yin type A, which has a weaker lungs, the lungs have a warm nature, so they would benefit from warm-natured foods, and chestnuts are warm-natured. And then the Yin type B, who has a weaker spleen is hot-natured. So in order to get foods to get to the spleen, they would need to be hot-natured. And so a hot-natured food would be ginger. So this is how food affects our body type. The more foods that we eat that strengthen our weaker organs, the stronger and the healthier we get overall. So before I mentioned that the spleen is in charge of the digestive system, or the stomach. The stomach digests the foods, breaks it down. So if the Yin type B has a weaker spleen, they will also have trouble breaking down foods. And ginger, with its warm nature, will help melt or unfreeze the digestive system, because the digestive system needs warmth to keep it flowing. The Yang type A, which is, as you can see, kind of the opposite energetically. The Yin type B has strong kidneys and weaker spleen. The Yang type A has stronger spleen and weaker kidneys. So the Yang type A needs the opposite. They need something cool to cool down their digestive system if they have digestive discomfort. So calcium is a cooling food. And calcium carbonate, which is highest in calcium, 40%, would be the supplement of choice, because that will really help cool down their digestive system. So let's compare the Yang type A and the Yin type B, since they are opposite in energetic nature. The Yin type B, as we just talked about, benefits from ginger. Well, because the kidney has a cold nature, ginger will warm it up and help everything flow smoother. But if the Yang type A has too much ginger in their food, what's going to happen is they have a lot of heat already in their digestive system, and so they will make that heat even warmer, hotter, and cause more digestive issues like stomach acid, GERD, dyspepsia. So those are some things to consider, that if one food is good for the Yin type B, it's most likely not that great for the Yang type A. So it's important to think about the ingredients in each food we eat. We may be able to get away with it once or twice, but after some time we may wind up feeling like we have indigestion and not really know why. So knowing our nature, knowing the nature of our bodies, will help us determine which foods and which supplements are good for us. So, getting back to the four foods, The Yang type A benefits from supplementing with calcium or eating foods that are rich in calcium. The Yang type B, kiwi. The Yin type A, chestnuts. And the Yin type B, ginger. So all of these foods are good for digestion, but they go to various different organs. The Yang type A, calcium, has an affinity for the kidneys, to strengthen the kidneys, but it also helps with the digestive system. So calcium goes through the kidneys to get to the digestive system, through the Yang type A's weaker organ to get to its stronger organ. Kiwi helps the liver. The liver also has a central role to play in digestion. Chestnuts go to help the lungs, but through the lungs they can also help the digestive system. Through the Yin type A's weaker lungs, they can get to the digestive system. And ginger is an herb which goes to the spleen. And we talked about how the spleen controls the stomach function. So through the spleen, ginger can help warm the digestive system, help the body break down foods. So whereas these foods help with the digestive system, they do it only through going through the path of the weaker organs, strengthening our bodies and our minds from the weaker aspects to help cultivate or we buy teas for our health, for our sleep, for digestion. Most of the time, since these are pre-prepared formulas, they'll contain herbs inside of them that are good for other body types other than our own. So either these products might work partially, or they may not work at all for us. Or even worse, they can cause damage to our organs. So knowing your body type is key to figuring out which foods to eat, which supplements, and which herbs to take. This is a very brief introduction to that. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something today. And stay tuned for more Sasang Medicine introduction in our next video. Thank you very much.